Hello and welcome to today's session. I hope you're all doing amazingly well. Well, I'm here today in beautiful sunny Madrid, but with a very sore body. The Madrid Marathon is in 2 months' time, so the end of April, well, 2.5 months' time. Well, February is a short month. And I've just started to up my game when it comes to the training. So I'm trying to get in 50 kilometers a week of running. And I've started a bit late this year. I normally get this level of kilometers a week more like end January. And I promise you, today morning was very, very difficult to wake up. So I have to admit, it does get harder to train and run that marathon a year the older we get. But I will continue to endure. And on that note, today what I wanted to talk about is the disconnect between the reality of your wellness suffering and the vision you had for your wellness suffering. So here's what I see with most of my clients. So you're owners of boutique hotels with a strong wellness focus, or your wellness directors in a hotel. And I have noticed all of you have a very, very clear image of what you want your wellness offering to be like. That vision is clear. That destination is clear. You believe in wellness and you also want it to work. And you've probably also done all the right things. You've hired the right consultants to help you create the right concept. You've hired the right expertise in areas that perhaps you didn't have that skill set or that knowledge. You've hired amazing designers. You've not cut corners when it comes to your budget. Yet, when it comes to implementing the concept, you're seeing that what you have today is so different from the idea of what you wanted your wellness offering to really be. And here is why that is the case. You've either underestimated the time and effort required to get to that destination. So you simply miscalculated what it takes to go from your wellness idea or your current wellness offering and overhaul it to that wellness vision or create that wellness vision. It's a simple math problem. It's an underestimation of what is required to get there. And this, while I was preparing for today's session, I was kind of thinking, what is the reason? Why does this happen? And this happens to you because you have spent so much time in the phase of ideating. So in that phase of creating the amazing wellness concept, that you have failed to spend the same amount of time and effort in the successful implementation, so the execution of your wellness vision. And yes, you definitely need to know where you're headed. That vision, having that vision is so important. And spending money on creating that right vision is incredibly important. But an important part of the puzzle is also the execution of your concept. The who will be implementing your wellness vision. Because here's the thing, no matter how clear you are about your destination, you're not going to get there without the right people in the right roles. And I was reading a book written by Jim Collins, From Good to Great. And I'd just like to repeat this quotation. And he talks about, first, get the right people on the bus, the wrong people off the bus, and the right people in the right seats. And then figure out where to drive it. So, first, get the right people on the bus, the wrong people off the bus, and then the right people in the right seats. And then you figure out where to drive your bus. And that is so true also for your wellness concept. Your wellness concept is the bus. Get the right people on it. Now, your current team, even if they are amazing people, might not be the right people for the destination of the wellness vision you want to achieve. So it's important at this stage to ensure that every single person you have in your team is the right person for the wellness vision. And I know that is probably the most difficult thing as an owner of a boutique hotel and wellness directors, particularly in an environment where it is so difficult to find talent. But here's the thing, if you have the wrong people on the bus, that bus is not going to move, no matter how beautiful and no matter what the bells and whistles you've added to that bus. It simply is not going to get to your destination. So the first stage is ensuring that you have the right people. And then getting the wrong people off your bus, ensuring the right people are in the right roles, the roles they are going to thrive, not because they just have to multitask and do it to the best of their abilities. And then you figure out how you're going to get to your destination. And when it comes to you, so you're your boutique hotel owner, a wellness leader, this is what I see when you're trying to either create a new wellness vision or overhaul your current wellness offering into that vision you wanted. You spend so much time perfecting the concept. So in the ideation phase, making it absolutely amazing that you completely forget about the implementation. You put all your resources into that destination, into painting that clear picture of the destination. And secondly, you spend so little time on focusing on the who, the people, really looking at whether you have the right people on the bus to get you to your destination and actively removing the wrong people. And then ensuring that you have the right people in the right seats. And then the third thing I've also noticed is that many times we want to go from first base, skip second and third, and jump right to fourth base. We somehow underestimate the journey that is required. And this is something I've done a lot myself. And a book that changed things for me was, it's probably in 2012. And I know 2012 because that is when I went to Macau. And I remember reading Eric Ries's Lean Startup. And obviously, to me, it was a very new concept. I'm sure it's been there forever. The minimum viable product, that you only achieve perfection of your product when you take it to market. There is only so much you can do in terms of perfecting your vision in the ideation phase, in that blueprint when you're creating the concept. The only way you perfect a concept is by taking it to market. No product is perfect going off the shelf. I have my MacBook Air in front of me where I'm recording everything. The constant software updates that I need to do, even on my iPhone, constantly. Now, if we have amazing technology, a beautiful hardware that needs constant updates in terms of its software, how can we think that our wellness concepts do not need that? Or our businesses, or any business? This is a constant iteration phase. And we don't just get to go from first base to fourth base without going past second and third. because it's so important. It's when you go through second and third base that you actually get the insights you need in order to get to success, that fourth base. It's like I was talking about my marathon running earlier on. It's like me pretending to want to go and run the 42 kilometers, despite the fact that I've been doing it for over a decade every year. I still need to train. In come January, I am training incredibly hard. And I've already clocked the miles. And I look after myself and I make sure I am training all year round. But I still need to do that year on year, train even harder to be able to run the 42 kilometers. So if we can't even run 5 kilometers without our body breaking, how on earth do we think we're going to run those 42 kilometers successfully? It doesn't work. And I need to ramp up my kilometers, my strength, eat well, sleep well, continuously. It's that daily clocking the miles that actually gets me to my end destination running that marathon. The same is with your wellness concept. You have an idea today, or you have a current reality of your wellness offering, and your vision is here. You're not going to fly there. You're going to have to go through each base. So, why am I talking about the concept of Jim Collins and putting the right people in the right roles and Eric Ries's minimum viable product? Because if there is a disconnect between the reality of your wellness offering and your wellness vision, it's that simply you have underestimated, you have miscalculated what it takes to get from where you are today to successfully implement your concept and get it to be your vision. So to bridge that gap. And the way you do that is by first really understanding what is required. Go through each of these stages. Really put your market, put your concept, put that minimum viable product to test in the market. Test one experience. And here's what happens when you get that minimal viable product into the market. You also get to see whether you have the right people on your bus and whether you've got the right people in the right seats. So both these concepts work so incredibly wonderfully together when it comes to bridging your concept, bridging your reality of your wellness idea to create between the vision of your wellness, your wellness vision and the reality of your wellness offering. And on that note, what I wanted to say, I just lost my train of thought, but it will come back. Yes. So important. What I normally see, and I've done it, I'm guilty as charged, and I continue to be guilty as charged more when it comes to my business than with my client's business, is that we compare our chapter 1 or chapter 2 with the chapter 20, 25 of more successful brands. So I always have people come to me and say, Sonal, you worked with this brand. I would really want to be like them. I'm like, yeah, but you're comparing your chapter 1 or the introduction to their chapter 25. And it really isn't a good way of comparing ourselves. That doesn't serve us. We really do need to write chapter 2, 3, 4, 5 to actually get to our own chapter 25. And when our concept, I'll just say, when our wellness offering isn't quite giving us the results we expected or does not match our wellness vision, here's a caution I want to tell most people. It doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It doesn't mean that you have to throw the baby away with the bathwater. It could be that you are in, like, I said, first to fourth base, you are in second base or you're in third base, nothing is wrong. Or you're simply in kilometer 10, or you could be in kilometer 27 and, you're just thinking, good Lord, I'll have 15 more kilometers to run. This is just way too painful. I'm never going to get to kilometer 42. So maybe nothing is wrong. Maybe you are where you need to be and learn what you need to learn and strengthen your team and get the feedback from your clients. Fine tune what isn't working. Really see what is working and then think what you can do differently. So, that word of caution, always make sure that you're comparing your chapter one with someone else's chapter one if you want that comparison. And also, the mere fact that there is a disconnect between your wellness vision and the reality of where you are today does not mean that where you are is wrong, that your wellness offering is bad, that you have to get rid of it. It's probably just sometimes part and parcel of the process, and you will eventually get to your wellness vision. So, I hope you find my rant very useful. Wishing you all a beautiful day ahead. Take care now.